makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part.
I haven't been watching the Olympics much this year due to time zone issues, but you've probably all read that US gymnast Simone Biles withdrew from the all around competition and the team finals a couple of days ago over mental health issues. Now, Biles is considered probably the best female gymnast right now in the world. Uh, Not just right now, she's probably considered one of the greatest of all times. Won numerous golds during the previous Olympics, and she is, well, her withdrawal from these events was quite important. The U.S. did not win the gold; Russia did, which seems like a bit of a microcosm of American foreign policy these days. But jokes aside, there's a lot of good reasons why she would have done this. And one of which I think a lot of her critics have forgotten is she was sexually abused. She was one of the gymnasts who was abused by Larry Nasser in a widely publicized case a couple of years ago. So, she's definitely dealing with a lot of shit. And you got to understand that in the in the Olympics, you basically have the eyes of the entire world looking at you. I mean, this is a moment where if you are not 100% in physical shape and 100% in mental shape, uh, you will you will not succeed. That's a fact. And I think that it is perfectly respectable if she chooses not to compete. No one's forcing her to do it. Even, for example, I know that the Olympics has a big nationalistic element to it, but in fact, the national team rankings are unofficial. The Olympics are an individual sport, first and foremost. The medal tables aren't really recognized officially, so it's really a shame. I think all of us would have wanted to see her, um, perform, but again, she owes us nothing, absolutely nothing. Of course, that was unacceptable to a lot of people on the right, and especially to Charlie Kirk, who is the founder of Turning Points USA and just all around piece of human garbage. And this is what he had to say about her withdrawal.
Who's obviously a very talented gymnast, decided not to compete in the gold medal competition. Now, she probably could have just competed and just kind of checked the boxes and they would have got a gold medal.
So first of all, that there's nothing to suggest that that would have been the case. I mean, Russia has a pretty damn good team. There was no guarantee that Biles being on the team would have guaranteed the US a gold. By no stretch of the imagination you can make that claim. And especially, again, if she was not at her mental 100%, and gymnastics is a sport that requires a lot of concentration as well. I mean, you try balancing on a fucking beam that's barely as wide as your foot. You try doing that, Charlie Kirk. Good luck with that. So it's a sport that requires a lot of physical prowess and also a lot of concentration. And if you're not mentally fit for the moment, if anything, you are doing a disservice to your team. So if anything, if she knew that she was not in 100% mental shape, she did the right thing of actually not sabotaging, or potentially sabotaging for her team's bid. So that was incredibly responsible on her part, and also showed a lot of trust in her teammates, because they're all also top athletes. They also had a shot of the gold, not just because of her. And again, even if she wasn't present, there is no guarantee that that was the reason why they didn't win the gold.
Simone Biles says, this Olympic Games, I wanted to be for myself when I came in, and I felt like I was still doing it for other people, as she cried after the team event on Tuesday. So it like hurts my heart because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. You
Oh
kidding me?
my God. Holy Jesus Christ. I mean, I've always known that Charlie Kirk is a piece of shit, but this is just beyond. And he's basically following an ongoing talking point of a lot of right wing commentators currently bitching about the Olympics and things like that. So remember, these are the people who supposedly are patriots.
Today it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do something stupid and get hurt. It's just not worth it. Especially when you have like three amazing athletes that can step up to the plate and do it. So you know who has the gold medal? Russia. Russia. I have to go look at these 4'11" Russian Olympians chewing on their gold medals, smirking at the Americans. I'm not okay with that.
Dude, what the hell? Like, Russia beats the US, in many competitions in the Olympics. They are an Olympic superpower as well. What makes this incident any different? By the way, a lot of the reasons that people like Charlie Kirk and these other, far right dipshits are piling on Simone Biles is, let's not kid ourselves. It's because she's black in what is, or traditionally has been, a very white sport. Let's not forget that has something to do with it. Okay, the fact that you have a black woman who is doing gymnastics better than the white women, that definitely hurts them a bit as well.
But honestly, that's where we're headed. We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. Again, if she got all these mental health problems, don't show up. She's an incredible athlete.
Well, what if what if she was feeling fine when she arrived at the Olympics? I mean, why does Charlie Kirk get to determine the schedule of when people have mental health problems? That's crazy. Everyone who knows someone who has a mental health issue like depression or anxiety knows that it's not exactly the same every single day. So good job. You're scheduling when people should feel okay and when not.
Of course, she's an incredible athlete. I'm not saying, I just said she's probably the greatest gymnast of all time. She's also very selfish. She's immature, and she is a shame to the country. She's totally a sociopath. Of course she's a sociopath. Andrew said she's not a sociopath. What kind of person skips the gold medal match? Who does that? It's a shame to the nation.
Sociopaths aren't generally open about their mental health issues and are all about the fame. So it's far more likely that she would be a sociopath if she had actually competed.
Just gave a gift to the Russians. Don't show up.
Again, that was not a gift to the Russians. There was no guarantee that the US would have won that gold.
If you're not ready for the big time, we got thousands of young female gymnasts that would love to take the place.
Yeah, really, good luck. Who? I mean, they're there in the team final for a reason. I mean, are you just going to snatch anyone you want and put them suddenly in a team of four to compete with, friggin' Russia, Japan, China, all these other gymnastics superpowers? Yeah, good luck with that, Charlie Kirk.
Thousands. Simone Biles just showed the rest of the nation that when things get tough, you shatter into a million pieces.
That was disgusting. That was absolutely fucking disgusting. The other thing that he failed to mention is that Simone Biles doesn't owe him anything, and she also doesn't owe the nation anything, because the nation didn't give her anything at all. In fact, this is a surprising fact that I didn't know until today. The US Olympians don't get any federal funding whatsoever. That is crazy. That's why things like this Team USA fund exist. Unlike nearly every national Olympic committee in the world, the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee's Olympic programs receive no federal government support. Thus, the US relies on private resources to help fund America's elite athletes as they focus on their pursuit of excellence at the Games. So, fuck you, Charlie Kirk. She doesn't owe you shit. She doesn't know any single American anything at all. Because she may be wearing the USA on her on her uniform, but that does not mean the country actually did anything, financially helped her get to the Olympics. Now, I'm sure this was not much of a problem with someone as high profile as Simone Biles, who I'm sure has lots of money and endorsements and things like that. But like, what about all her other teammates who aren't nearly as famous as she is? So that was just absolutely. It's amazing that they can just record something like that and accuse her of being a sociopath just off the bat. Anyway, that wasn't the only disgusting thing said about Simone Biles. Here is Michael Tracey. If you don't know who Michael Tracey is, he's one of the sort of lesser known but still more famous than he deserves to be member of the sort of civil rights obsessed libertarian journalist who in recent months have basically been simping for right-wing populists. And they're basically people who claim that they're on the left or once were on the left and now the left has left them. And now they just shill for the right. He's disgusting. He's just awful. And he wrote this. That gymnast seems to be getting more raucous support for saying mental health and quitting than if she'd won the gold medal. Nice one, Michael Tracey. But that wasn't the only thing he said. In fact, he went on a Twitter rant where, again, this is Twilight Zone stuff. A bizarre kind of mental health fundamentalism is overtaking the culture. She is genuinely receiving more plaudits for withdrawing from competition at the last second on supposed mental health grounds than if she'd actually won the gold medal. Holy shit, can you really, how, this is the same argument of like, oh, trans people are just transitioning because it's cool. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, are you gonna alter your entire body just for Twitter likes? This is batshit insane. Same with this. Do you actually, like, she could become a mental health advocate and win gold medals. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. Certainly, I doubt an athlete of this caliber, of her caliber, wouldn't want a gold medal. So it takes a lot of balls to like practice 4 years for an event and then quit at the very last moment for legitimate reasons, and then have dipshits like Michael Tracey say that it's that you're just a propagandist for like some kind of mental health obsessed culture. That is crazy. Yeah, and he's just gone on and on. I mean, I assume that he's been taking some flack for his comments. So how does he respond? By making more tweets and doubling down on it. Isn't the whole point of the Olympics that you're representing your country and thus owe the greatest possible effort to achieve victory? Or did they change that this year due to COVID or whatever? Like I said, she owes you nothing, Michael Tracey. She doesn't owe any American anything. Yeah. So, in a way, Simone's spectacle was probably the most rational thing she could do. It seems to resonate with the current culture more than if she'd actually won the gold medal for the USA. Will turn her into an even bigger, more valorized celebrity. She's just responding to incentives. Holy shit. Ah, God. Mike, I mean, this is so sad. And let's look at Michael Tracey. Clearly, Olympic material right there. That's Michael Tracey, who never in his fucking life has been, competing in a major sporting event in front of the eyes of the entire world. Certainly not with that Frito-Lay's body. And yes, I am fucking body shaming him because he's a piece of shit. And you know what's sad here is like he used to be a reporter for the Young Turks. It's amazing how many like awful human beings have come out of the Young Turks. Like they really need to do a better vetting process of the people that they hire, because they're responsible for Jimmy Dore, I have to say. And for Michael Tracey. Yeah. So white guys with this kind of body should not be in the business of bitching about Olympic athletes, especially female Olympic athletes, especially black female Olympic athletes, and especially black female Olympic athletes who have been fucking sexually abused. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. And it just shows the really calling them human pieces of shit is very generous, because shit has a purpose. And people like Michael Tracey and Charlie Kirk, they don't. So, what can I say? I genuinely I feel bad for all the shit that she's been going through, and on top of that, getting the response from people like that. But yeah, that is the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. That is the quality of humanity that we have in the 21st century. So, with that said, if you like this video, please like, please share, please subscribe, and don't be a dick on Twitter. Just don't punch down. Like, not on issues of mental health. And it doesn't matter if it's, an ordinary human being or a major sporting star, celebrity. That does not make a difference. That does not make a difference. So be nice to each other. Thanks.